Hey y'all, we are back here at the Austin Pod. We are so excited because ACL Fest is coming up. Like, it's practically here, and I'm super stoked. Um, yeah, it's been a long time coming.
I know. I just posted my story. Like, I can feel the hype building the more days that go by.
I know. As soon as I feel a breeze in the air, I'm like, ACL Fest. And then the actual fest is here, and I'm like,
Are you doing both weekends or are you going to just do one weekend?
I'm pretty sure I'm doing both.
Okay.
What about you?
I think I'm going to do both.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe we can finagle some ways to get tickets.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But worst case, there's always ways to get them last minute.
Do you have friends coming in town?
I do.
I bet.
I think weekend one, I have somebody coming from Dallas and I have a 2-bedroom, so they're going to be staying with me.
Oh, okay.
And they've never done a big festival before, which is even crazier.
Wow. Okay.
So that'll be something for them. But besides that, weekend two is just going to be a bunch of local friends pre-gaming and walking over, so that'll be cool.
That'll be dope. I will say I was listening to our ACL Fest predictions episode, and you were like, Post Malone is definitely coming. And I was like, he's too big. He's not
I
coming.
know.
And I just want to say I feel vindicated.
It made me more mad because they just announced that he's going to be at like the Circuit of Americas.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Which-
we'll definitely do an episode about like venues,
Yeah.
music venues. But yeah, and that made me realize why he's not doing ACL.
Yeah.
So he will be in Austin, but at the end of October. But because it's ACL Fest weekend coming up, we wanted to give you guys like a bunch of tips and tricks and what to know, maybe some things that the public or the police don't want you to know. No, I'm kidding.
There will be some of that, especially with me.
Yeah. So, and we've been, well, when was your first ACL Fest?
Oh man, I think it was like 2020. So I'm recent. Like when I moved here.
2020, there was no ACL Fest.
Oh, then it was 21. I always mix those two. This is the COVID years.
You know what's crazy that year? They still put the flags up,
Wow.
but no, but people just went to take pictures and we were all like sad.
So that was the year that it was, I'm assuming, just canceled from COVID.
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
I mean, everything was canceled that year.
And it was
but-
only canceled 1 year, right?
Yes. And
Okay.
then this is Texas. So 2021, they were like, we're back at it, baby. It was a lot of fun. I think my first ACL Fest was 2012. I was still in college and I only went for a day. And I was like, that was my very first like festival experience. And I only went for a day. I was trying to see Childish Gambino because Camp was out and Camp was like my favorite album by
Amazing.
him. And just for a day, I was like, how do people do this for 3 days? Little did I know I would soon be like, yeah, I would soon be going like double weekends back to back doing festivals, and now I love it. But
You're a good person to ask about that because I actually meet like a lot of college students. Even that sounds creepy. But no, a lot of like the ones that are turning 21, they ask me on where bars they can go drink at and stuff like that. And then when I was working at Wells Fargo, I worked with a girl that goes to UT as well.
oh, nice.
And I'm finding like this consistent thing that they all say, oh, they've never been to ACL, or they're like, maybe I'll go. And obviously, after they go, they're blown away and they want to go forever.
Mhm.
But I'm like, what's the hesitance when you're that young? Or like, you just don't think it's as special as it is?
I'm trying to remember. I was 21 and I knew I wanted to like be able to drink legally at my first festival experience.
Okay, that's probably part of it.
But yeah, before that, it just seemed so like big and intimidating. Oh, and also I will say money played a factor. Like
That's probably a big one.
as a young college kid, like I didn't have $400 to be like going to ACL Fest. But yeah, once you go, you're like, that was crazy. I don't know if I can do it again. And then you do it again and you're like, you just get better. And then it becomes like, oh yeah, it's ACL Fest. We're all going.
Exactly. You have to go. It's to me, I say if you want to be a true Austinite and you like live music, I mean, you're paying the same ticket as a ticket to the Moody, and you get 5 to 7 shows in one day. It's wild.
I know. Once you put it in like math terms like that, I was like, damn, this is a really good deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, over the years going to ACL Fest, I'm sure we've both picked up a bunch of tips and tricks. I would love to know, like, when do you think is the best time to like go to ACL?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I'm somebody that goes both weekends
Yeah.
because I think it's worth it, and it's just once a year, so you might as well take advantage of it, that 2 weekends. But this is a question that comes up all the time because some people say that the best weekend to go is the second weekend.
Really?
I've heard this because they say that all the tourists come the weekend one. And I know the differences on how people feel. So weekend two, they say the grounds are a little more wrecked. It's not as like clean. It gets a little more dustier, things like that. But weekend two, I've heard is more like locals, the students and stuff like that. So
Oh,
yeah, what was
interesting.
your initial thoughts on that?
I and I've said this before, I will never just do weekend two anymore because I get FOMO when I see people having fun weekend one. I'm like, why didn't I just go? Like, what? I do like doing both weekends because weekend one is like you're so excited that it's ACL Fest is here, October, party, party, party. Try to see as many bands as possible. And then weekend two, I know it's a privilege to go both weekends, but weekend two, I just feel like I can take it more easy. I'm seeing the bands I didn't see weekend one, and it's more chill vibes. I literally I forgot when, maybe 2019, I did both weekends. And the second weekend, I would show up like at 7 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty late. Just because I was like, oh, I'll just like come vibe, see the headliner that I missed last
Yep.
time.
That's a big thing when you're going both weekends. You feel like, yeah, Friday I'm gonna go at 6, and then maybe Saturday if there's somebody I want to see, I'll go early. But you can like really make your own schedule.
Yeah. I I definitely think there is also a time within each day that you're gonna be at the back of a big ass line, and there are times when you can maybe like, you know, it won't be as packed.
That's gonna be a good tip for sure.
Have you like found any time frames that worked for you?
I definitely think that at like 5 o'clock,
Yeah,
it starts to fill up because that's usually when the best performers come on. Maybe 4 o'clock.
yeah.
So the line is the worst at that time.
Have you ever gone at 11 a.m.?
No,
Me either.
is that like that's the gates, right? The opening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my Gen Z cousins like waited at the gates last year for the 1975 because they as soon as the gates opened at 11 a.m. they rushed to the rail to where the 1975 was going to be performing like 10 hours later, and I'm like, y'all are insane.
Wow.
And I was like, how was the line? And they were like, I mean, it was long, but it went by like super fast.
Okay.
That's at 11 a.m. for those that have that.
Because my guess would be to go at like 12:30. That big line already died down because everybody's in the fest, and then
Yeah.
you probably can just walk in at that point.
Yeah, I think the ACL Fest official people say they recommend coming before like 2 p.m.
Okay.
But again, that is the hottest time of the day, so you are gonna be dying from the heat. But other than that, there is a way to, well, kind of to get around the big ass line, and that's to go around the I call it the back entrance, but really it's
Yeah,
the Ladybird
because it's north,
entrance.
right, over the river, but then it goes down the
Yes.
side.
Yes.
And some people say like high school because there's a high school.
Yes. So I tell my Uber to drop me off at the Austin High School, and then you walk under the Mopac pedestrian bridge, and that leads you to I believe it's called the Ladybird Lake entrance, right?
I think so too.
And
I know we shouldn't mess this up for the people.
I know.
that-
I'm like checking my notes. Okay, it's called the Ladybird side entrance for a quicker entry.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so let's make this clear because I want to also throw this out there. If you're there just for a great time and you don't mind waiting a little bit, I do think the east entrance, the one that walks by Chewy's, Barton Springs side, is the funnest one to go through because there's a ton of vendors. Everybody is dressed up, walking into the festival with you. Some people still have drinks in their hand. The energy is just immaculate. So if I have time and I'm not rushing to a show, I like to choose that side. But many times I am late because my girlfriend gets ready and takes very long. So we go to the Lady Bird side, and it's a straight walk into the festival. It is a little long, it's like a 10 to 15 minute walk, but you go straight in,
Yeah.
most of the time. So
Yeah, it's the only one I will use now. But I do agree. It's called the Barton Springs entrance. Is
Okay.
the main one, which is when you walk up and you just see this huge crowd. You're like, holy shit. There is a no bag line though, so if you're lucky enough to be going without a bag, there's never a line for
Never.
that bag. I mean, for that line. But But I know that's difficult for us girly pops who like to carry a fanny pack, and we're usually carrying our boyfriend's crap too. Um, so yeah, the Ladybird entrance on the side is where you should go if you don't want to wait. There's also a third entrance
Yeah.
that's past the big ass crowd during Barton, but you have to walk through like a dirt lot to
And
get
it's
to
always
it.
dusty.
It's always dusty. I've even seen that line be huge before, but it still goes faster than the main one at Barton.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. And a lot of people, they'll go to the Barton one and then they end up just walking around the entire festival to like get in through there.
Yes. And I'll also say the Barton Springs entrance is, if you're going down that route, that's where you'll find scalpers and people trying to sell wristbands, which I've said this before, like it is a risk, but I say if you're gonna risk it, get as close as you can to the gates of the festival, because if they're more willing to haggle with you there, and if you buy a wristband and then you immediately go to scan the wristband and it doesn't work, you can go back to the guy, like he's probably still going to be there,
Yeah.
and be like, what the hell, this didn't work. That happened to my friend once. But yeah, it is a risk.
And some of them will let you like make sure it works first. I've seen that where they'll be like, I'm gonna be right here,
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah, again, I've done this before and I've never gotten scammed. I know people who have gotten scammed, but most of them, like, they work. They're just trying to make a buck, but they're not like fake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the scam stories are very low. I've heard it like 1 out of 100 times. Every year, my friends say they're only going one weekend, and then the other weekend they end up buying tickets last minute because of FOMO, and they always get tickets. I've never had a friend be like, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
So there's usually a way. You got to be willing to go on like Facebook.
Yes.
My old trick used to be StubHub, last minute StubHub. I was always getting cheaper tickets actually, which was a surprising thing because the people who are selling them on StubHub are like panicking. They're like, "Oh my god, the fest is tomorrow or today, and nobody bought my ticket. I got to get something," so they cut it down by half a price. But I will say, I don't want to make this like a guarantee because last year was the first year in like 10 years of going to festivals that I saw ACL sell out on StubHub. There wasn't a single ticket, but it was like day of. And I was amazed. There's usually always extra tickets sitting there.
That's crazy because last year's lineup wasn't that great.
I know. And it's 2 weekends. So you would think there'd be like, more people just being like, I already went weekend one or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was definitely interesting to me. But maybe it's just very popular right now. ACL crushes it when it comes to ticket sales.
Especially with this year's lineup, it will be very popular. But every year, and I say this like clockwork, about a month to 2 weeks before the festival, people like cannot make it, and they bought tickets or wristbands right when tickets went on sale, and something comes up, and they need to sell it, and they usually come to me and are like, where can I sell this? Facebook is a great resource, like Facebook groups. There's one called Ticket Town, Ticket Exchange. UT students like are needing tickets. Like there's so many options out there. You can also just like post on your Instagram story. I mean, like, does anyone know anyone that needs a wristband? I'm just trying to get face value for what I paid. And sometimes people are so desperate that they will like list their wristband for $50 less than what they paid.
Like I said, I've had crazy stories where I've gotten VIP tickets for 50% off.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's insane.
You never know. And if you keep your eye on like StubHub or like these other sites, I forget Vivid and all these weird ones. And I know you even work with one sometimes.
Yes, there's one that is not a scam. It's called soldout.com. And literally they like they will buy wristbands and real tickets from people and resell it. And it might be a little more expensive by like $20. It depends how close to the festival you get it, but sometimes it's less than. It's all about supply and demand, but it is like a legit resource, and they have an actual office location in Central Austin. I've been to it.
Amazing.
I've gotten a wristband. I've seen all the wristbands they have, and I've had to get one from them myself, and it works. And they don't just do ACL Fest, like they do Austin Food and Wine Fest, a bunch of like, I think any concert in Austin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're an Austin-based company, but I don't know if they work elsewhere. But yeah, soldout.com if you're desperate and need like a last-minute wristband for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so what about like pregame spots before ACL
Yeah, this
Fest?
was a big question I got last year. So when it comes to the best pregame spots for ACL Festival, I have a couple main ones depending on the entrance you go to. So if we're gonna go to the Barton Springs, like I said, this is more of the party area. The lines are a little bit bigger, but it's a little more fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have the Barton Springs Saloon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they have Tommy Want Wingy for food, some of the best
Hell yeah.
wings in Austin.
I love Tommy Want Wingy.
Oh yeah, they're
So
awesome. And it's a classic dive bar. It's been in Austin for a while. You grab a beer and a shot. It's perfect to just throw down before you head into the festival.
Good rec.
And then the other side is the, what do we call it? The North High School side. What do we?
It's the Lady Bird entrance.
The Lady Bird entrance.
Yes.
So for the Lady Bird entrance for ACL Festival, you're gonna want to go to Deep Eddy Cabaret.
Oh.
It's like right up the hill from where you park over there.
You're right.
Which is one of the best dive bars in Austin, Texas, if not the best dive bar in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And right next to there's a place called Pool Burger.
Yes.
They have tiki drinks. It's a little small, so it gets a little packed, but they have burgers, really cool tiki drinks, or you
Love
can go
them.
into Deep Eddy Cabaret and once again grab a shot, hang with your friends, and then walk into the festival.
Deep Eddy is so interesting to me because it is a dive bar, but every time I go, like a lot of students go there.
Yeah, I know it's become that over time.
I wonder why. Just the cheap drinks.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of like the drinks are still cheap. The location is central to like near downtown.
Mm.
So even like these dive bars, you know, a lot of people want them to stay old school Austin dive bars, but they're evolving just because of the population in downtown.
True. If you are coming from out of town to ACL Fest, I know a lot of tourists like to go to Terry Black's before.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's literally like on the way to the Barton Springs entrance. And like we've said before, the line to Terry Black's is always long, but it's always moving. And it goes fast. And as soon as you're at the counter and order, you get your food. So yeah, after you order, there's no more wait time. So if you need somewhere to eat and
I personally love Terry Black's.
yeah, personally, I would not eat that before a festival because I'm
yeah.
going to want to take a nap.
After.
But I know when people come in town, they want to like do the Austin thing. So it makes sense.
Exactly.
And if you want like a sit down place, then El Alma is right next to Terry Black's. It's a Mexican spot and they have really great margaritas. That's the type of place like I would look for personally. I'm trying to like get nice margaritas in before ACL Fest. Baby A's is also in Barton Springs. They're still open, right?
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next recommendation. Baby A's on the Barton Springs side, like she said, is actually a good pregame spot. They have the famous purple margarita. But for people who don't know, it's made with Everclear. It doesn't taste the best.
You're really selling them at this point.
But, and I know people are going to like this, especially the out-of-towners, it's not too expensive, and you're going to get wasted off of it on one. So it's like the perfect pregame because it's right before you enter the festival. And, yeah, you just shoot it back. Just don't get a brain freeze. Just shoot it back.
I know. You get a limit of 2, but I recommend just drinking 1. What else is on Barton Springs? Like, I feel like places keep closing. Oh, Chewy's is there.
Chewy's is there. That's a great spot for margaritas and food.
It's going to be packed, though.
Yeah, exactly. I never go there before.
I'm just like, good luck getting in.
Yeah.
People are willing to wait hours to get into there. Gibson Bar is kind of close. Like, up the hill.
Oh, yeah. So that's South Lamar. So if you're somebody who's coming from South Austin to ACL Festival, I feel like that's a good stop, and then you can start your walk.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people get an Airbnb or whatnot on South Lamar, and if you go to Gibson Bar, it's just a walk down, and you're right there by the Barton Springs Road. So that comes to mind. Like, what else?
I honestly, like, I did this list last year, and there's not that many perfect pre-gaming spots because if you're going to be in town for ACL Festival, you could always go to a local bar wherever you're at and then just Uber over after.
That's true.
So that's why these are like to me, Deep Eddy and then Barton Springs Saloon are just perfect because they are where you get dropped off to walk in.
Yeah.
After that, yeah, it's just like spread out throughout the city.
I will say P. Terry's is right before you start walking down the Barton Springs entrance. So food in ACL
Oh
Fest
yeah.
is really expensive. So if you want to eat something cheap before you go into ACL Fest, then the P. Terry's right on the corner of Barton Springs Road and South Amar is a good option.
And that's a good one probably for after. And maybe we should give a couple after recommendations because you are the foodie person.
See you at that Whataburger on South First.
Um, yeah, so food after the festival is a good one. I mean, maybe we should go in chronological order. So going into the fest, did we have any tips before we get to the fest that you can think of? I know we did best entrances.
People also ask, where do you stay?
Oh, where do you stay? That's
Yeah.
a good question.
I'm like, if you get lucky enough to get a good deal downtown, aim for a downtown hotel.
Yep.
Otherwise, I would aim for an Airbnb definitely in the '04 zip code area, like South Lamar, Zilker Park, obviously. Even Travis Heights is pretty close. And that's like all walking distance or at least scooter distance away from the festival. Um, the east side, if you're down for like a super long walk, you can like Anthony has done that walk before.
Which I want to say why. So after the festival, you will notice it's very, very hard to get an Uber or a Lyft. So we just we're already feeling the vibes from the festival, and we decided we're just going to keep rolling. And we never got to a spot that was good for an Uber. We're like, well, we're already halfway home, and now we're already 75 minutes home. And then we ended up just walking the whole way.
That's wild, but respect.
But yeah, that's a good question with where to stay. I will say, if you're not from Austin and you're visiting for ACL Festival, that it's not like Chicago. It's not like New York City. You're not going to have to get an hour Uber to ACL Festival. So honestly, as long as you're within the 20-minute range, the ride will probably still be close to 20 minutes. You know, if you stay in East Austin, downtown, a little bit south of downtown, you're going to be fine. So don't stress the location too much. Just find a quality place to stay at.
Yeah, 100%. Also, I didn't know this my very first ACL Fest. There's no parking near the festival. Like, unless you have
No.
a secret spot.
No, you should Lyft or Uber, because if not, I mean, you're going to probably pay more to find parking. I know they have some in the Barton Springs area, Zilker. You know that neighborhood? It's called Zilker neighborhood.
Oh.
I know you can park on the streets up there.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people
But
walk
that's
out.
if you go early, and also people start putting out signs like no event parking, we will tow your ass. Years ago, so don't take this advice now, in 2018, I parked at the Alamo Draft House
Oh, wow.
garage.
Oh, somebody actually recommended that this year. They were like, that's a
Really?
great spot.
Really?
Yeah.
I got lucky, but I don't know. I feel like during ACL Fest, they know what people are up to, and they are going to be more likely to tow people.
I was
So,
gonna say, isn't it a time restricted parking too?
Yeah.
Unless maybe Sunday's free parking, or I don't know.
I don't know either. A lot of neighborhoods in that area have started to put up no parking signs. So I really would just recommend taking a ride share.
100%.
Also, or there is a shuttle also that usually picks up around Republic Square Park. It's free. It takes you to the festival and back. And yeah, we do have a bus system here. So if you just do some Googling, you'll find a route.
Probably good for the students.
Yeah. Or again, you could scooter. We are a scooter city. Be careful. We also have a lot of bad drivers here. So just
That is true.
be cautious. And yeah, any little tips and tricks here and there. I guess now we're at the festival.
Okay, so let's say we're going to the festival. We talk about what to bring.
Yes. Okay, as a guy, what do you bring?
I do get paranoid about losing stuff, so I try to keep it as minimal as possible.
Okay.
So I have my phone. In the back of my phone has my credit cards, which they usually go cardless. So your wristband can link up to your credit card online, and you can just scan it when you buy stuff, which is nice.
Yes. Recommend that.
But then I just have that, and then I have a couple whiskey shooters in my back pocket.
Yeah, so I've noticed in the previous ACL Fest recently that they do not pat down anymore.
No.
They're not touching you. I think there must have been some kind of like maybe like lawsuit or they got too many complaints about touchy security guards and now they don't touch you.
Yeah, which, I mean, I don't know if we should be promoting this because I still want to support ACL and spend money because I want them to
Of
be
course.
successful. But we're all struggling out here. It can't just be.
Dude, the
Dropping-
drinks inside ACL Fest are so expensive.
Yeah, I remember you posted that one a couple years ago where you showed the wine for.
Dude, it was a tiny wine carafe was like $75.
Oh my god!
And it gave you maybe like 2 little cups of wine. And it went viral because people were like, what the hell? Like, we are struggling out here. Even the rate for an ACL ticket went up already by $40. So I'm already
Yeah.
like, what's the price going to be for drinks this year?
Yeah, so I usually do get a couple of drinks because, whatever. What's nice is now they used to only be beer and wines.
Mm.
And now this last year they added a tiki hut, which I don't know how to describe where it's at, but it's when you walk into the festival, away from all the stages, there's a stage all the way to the left of the street.
Okay.
And in that back corner, there's a tiki hut because everybody couldn't find it. They like, where is this thing? Because it's in the most random place.
It's by the merch building,
Yes,
right?
it's like between the merch and that backstage.
Okay.
And even though prices are expensive, I think it's like $22 a drink.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of getting a Tito's and pineapple, unless you want to sponsor us Tito's, and then you should get a Tito's and pineapple, you get this really cool like tiki cocktail that's an actual made drink by a bartender. So if you're
Wow.
looking for more of an experience instead of just a beer and a wine, I think it's cool to stop over there.
I've noticed a lot of people have gone the seltzer route
Yeah,
at ACL
it's
Fest.
light, refreshing, easy
Yeah.
to drink when it's hot.
Yeah, and that was my go-to, but you're right. Last year was the first time I saw cocktails available at most of the bars. Very simple cocktails. I think one was a margarita.
Which was hilarious because it was like melting the whole time.
I know. Like everyone had those orange cups.
Yep.
Like that's the new hit thing. Maybe it'll be the same this year. I was stoked because I'm so sick of seltzers and I don't want to beer and wine puts me to sleep. So I'm just like, thank you.
So true.
I was so happy about that.
Yeah, so that's why like I said, I put a couple whiskey shooters in my back pocket, and then I order a seltzer, and I got my seltzer to sip on, and then boop.
Exactly. Another way to. Okay, we're like telling people like illegal ways to like slip in alcohol, but okay, this is just for y'all only. Don't repeat this. But on Amazon, there are all these like packets with a nozzle that you can buy them and get them at like 20 a pack, and you can easily put like vodka in these little packets or tequila, whatever your preference is. Put them in the freezer, freeze, and then you need to like have them on your person when you go through security. Like
people will put
probably like your waistband. Yeah.
And you'll see people just like at the festival.
And then if you're lucky enough to get through security with your pack of secret alcohol intact, then go to Juice Land, get one of those big ass juices they have. They're expensive, but they're so good. And then pour that in, and you've got yourself like the best cocktail.
Amazing.
Like a double cocktail,
That's
basically.
a great tip.
It's really good.
Let's jump back because I did change the subject. But, I'm simple. I'm a guy. But I think a lot of girls would recommend or want to know what your recommendations are, what to bring when you go to the festival.
Yeah, so I am a fanny pack girly.
Kelsey, too.
We love a fanny pack. And I bring the same things every year. The typical, like, sunglasses. Make sure they're not your most expensive sunglasses. If you trust yourself. I definitely lost a pair of Ray-Bans like 10 years ago, and I was like, never again. Portable phone charger. If you are one to take videos and photos, or you're trying to find all your friends and call them like multiple times, and your battery will run out, and you need some battery to be able to call an Uber at the end of the night.
And I will say that's also a great tip. you aren't going to have cell service a lot of the time. So be prepared that if you decide to separate from your friend group, you most likely will not find them again. And I have like very close friends that I love being with, and I will give up on it. I'm like, I'm not seeing them again.
100%. Like literally, they'll be like, "We're going to this band, but we'll see you at this band." I'm like, "Yeah, you won't, but
You won't.
bye. Have a
Yeah.
good time."
You have to either have a meeting spot in the center of the festival that you agree upon, or it's just you decide to split up.
It's chaos,
Yeah.
especially at night. Everyone's trying to meet around the glow ball that says ACL Fest on it in the middle of the festival, or they say, "Meet me at the flags." Don't say, "Meet me at the flags" at ACL Fest, because there's 2 sets of flags and it's kind of a huge area. And at night, everyone's trying to meet at the flags.
Yep.
And so you'll get there and be like, "Which flag?" It's impossible. But if you are with all of your friends and you don't need to be calling or taking photos and you want to be in the moment, put your phone on airplane mode. Like, just live in the moment.
Yep.
And you won't be wasting battery. And then I would say a reusable water bottle comes in handy. I am a hydrating girly, so I don't want to pass out in the middle of this Texas heat in October. And they have water refill stations everywhere, and you can buy like a little collapsible one as well that will just like clip to
that's a great
your
idea.
fanny pack or your back loop pocket. And then personally, these things are things I tell people to bring, and they don't think about it, but once they have it, they're like, "This is clutch." And that's a koozie, because who wants to hold like a cold ass drink that you're just warming and it's melting at the same time with the heat? So those come in handy with seltzers, cans of beer, you name it. And a handheld fan.
Oh, yeah.
Whether-
It's ACL. It's awesome.
Yeah. Whether it's electric, which I personally prefer, like one of those big ass handheld fans. Those get you the most air, and people around you will feel it, and they will like be like, "Oh my God." Like they will like gravitate to be closer to you and be like, "Can I please just have some air?" And you'll become everybody's savior and everyone's favorite person. The fan life, like girls know, like it makes you friends.
100%.
And this one is just because I'm older, but earplugs. I want to protect my hearing, and I don't want to lose my hearing by the time I'm 40. So obviously, like, not every stage you need earplugs,
depending
but
on where you're at.
yeah, it depends how close you are and if the sound sucks. I don't know. I haven't really needed to use it, but it's just like
nice
just
to
in
have.
case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you can use it for other stuff in the future.
Yes. Those are all my like. I will always have those stuff with me.
Those are good racks.
Speaking of fanny packs and bags, they do recommend that you have like your bag be clear or small enough, because if it's a huge backpack, I don't think they're gonna let you in.
No.
It's on their rules,
There is
and
like a size thing.
I've seen people get turned away. But if you have a small backpack that's not clear and you get turned away, my only suggestion is to try another entry point.
Yeah.
And sometimes it depends on the security guard. They'll cut you some slack if there's really nothing like bad about it. But yeah, I definitely, to not run that risk, buy a clear small bag.
I actually look at the security guards and I'll be like, which one is good to go up to?
I know. Some are mean,
I
and then
know.
some are just, they know that you're just like some kids trying to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Some people do bring in chairs and blankets. The chill crowd, they'll find that big ass tree in the middle of the fest at Zilker and, plant there. And so if you want to chill, bring a blanket, an outdoor blanket. Yeah.
My only rec for them is do not sit too close to the stage.
Oh my God.
Because that's not for you. If you want to sit and relax, that's cool. There's a good view from the back, but some people are like newbies and they don't know that, and they'll be like, I'm going to put my blanket down here, and they'll be like right near the main stage because they were there since like 2.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
you can't, people are going to step on it. And
Yeah, your blanket will get stepped on if you try to be close to the main stages. This is a tip for my short folks out there.
I was going to ask if you're going to say this one.
Not a lot of people know this, but you can bring a little collapsible step stool inside the festival because it's pretty much the same as with those people bringing in like collapsible chairs.
Yeah.
It's just a little step stool. And people like us who are 5'4" and under, we can't see.
Yeah.
Like, especially at the Tito's tent or anywhere at the festival where like the grounds are kind of like sloped down and you can't really see. The step stool has saved me time and time again. Yeah. So don't think you look weird. Like, people will go around you too because they know they can't like push you. You're on a stool.
Yeah, exactly.
It works every time.
And it's good for short people. Obviously, if you're like 6 foot and do it, then you're just rude.
Oh my God. The anger that would fill inside me if someone 6 foot and over was on a step stool, I'd be like,
I know.
okay.
People even yell at like 6'4" dudes that are like at the like front. And they're like, why are you even up here?
Oh my God, literally. To be that tall.
I
be
know.
able
I'm
to
not
see.
like, they're like, do you want to be a taller guy just to be good looking? I'm like, no, I want to be taller so I can just be at a concert and see better.
Oh my God, literally. I'm fine with my height, but definitely at concerts and festivals,
Yes,
I'm like,
same.
oh, what a dream.
I thought of one. What about shoes?
Oh my gosh. Girls, don't wear the cowboy boots. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. You're gonna leave the night taking them off. Your feet are gonna be blistered to hell, and you're gonna be regretting all your life choices.
Yep. And thank God white sneakers that are dirty are now like in fashion because that works. It's totally fine to do that.
Yeah, don't buy brand new sneakers for a festival. If they're not broken in yet, you're gonna be in pain.
Yep.
Just go with your tried and true sneakers. Most shoes you can wash even if they get dirty.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that.
And you'll see once you're at the festival and nobody's like, oh, nice shoes.
Oh, no one cares.
No one cares. Eye level's all up here.
No
We're
one
all
cares.
in crowds.
No, literally.
Yeah.
I respect the girls that want to have the full outfit and get the photos.
Yeah.
And, you know, if that's what your mission is, then go for it. But if you plan to stay in those uncomfortable shoes the rest of the day, you will be in pain.
Yeah. So maybe plan one day for photos.
Yeah, maybe.
And then the rest for comfort.
I personally, I have these old ass Adidas that I am wearing all the time, and they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Those are what I wear. But if not that, I'm a Chacos girly, which is like kind of granola, but I don't care. They're so comfortable and they're great, not just for festivals, but hiking and water activities. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big like Chacos stan. What shoes do you wear?
I wear like Converse, even though they're not the most comfortable, but they're easy to just tie up and
Those
they're-
don't
they can
hurt.
be- I know. I don't mind it too much.
I mean, every foot shape is different. So
Yeah, exactly.
if it works for some.
But yeah, I just go with regular white sneakers, whatever cheap ones I have in the house, and run with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say if it's super muddy, which hopefully that doesn't happen this year, then don't wear your favorite sneakers.
Yeah.
Because then they might get, messed up and you'll have to throw them away.
I actually have a good question that I think would be good for like a reel or a TikTok that you can put out as a recommendation.
Let's see it.
But you're definitely the one to ask for this. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm scared.
But where are the 3 best locations at ACL Festival to take a picture?
Wow. Okay. The three best locations at ACL Fest to take a picture are next to the ACL Fest frame.
Okay.
Some people really care about getting that frame, but I just want the view of the city.
Yeah.
So just go literally right to the left or right of the frame, and you'll see the beautiful skyline in the background, and you didn't have to wait 20 minutes to
Mhm.
take a photo. If you don't care about the wait, or if you get there super early, then the line for the famous, iconic ACL Fest frame will be shorter.
I picture like us clipping a picture of you in that spot on this video.
I have one. I think because I got there super early one year and the line was only 2 people ahead of me. So I was like, this is my chance. And it was the only time I ever did it. Another great option is buy the flags. Go to a corner of the flags. Don't be directly in it. Put your phone on 0.5.
Yep.
Get that that what's it called? Eye
I even
lens.
did this once.
Yeah. And then whoever your photographer is, make them get on the ground and angle it up. That way you get like less people like around the ground and you just see the flags. That's one of my favorite photos I've ever taken.
It really is good.
It is. And then damn, a third one.
I don't know if this is good to say, but you can tell me if you have a better one. But what about the truck?
Oh yeah. That's actually like new.
Oh, is it?
Like that wasn't there
Like 2 years?
pre-COVID, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, there's this really cute ACL Fest truck that's like bedazzled with
Yeah.
jewels. And it's right in front of an ACL Fest sign by the rocks. You'll
Right in the
see,
middle.
yes. They kind of made it look like the Hollywood sign, but it says ACL Fest. And it's by these rocks where you'll see a bunch of people chilling, just trying to find some shade. And there's a truck in front of it. I would recommend, like, if you want to get a photo by this truck where not many people are around it, go during a popular set around golden hour or like 30 minutes before the sun sets, and it gives you the best light. I did this last year, and you'll get like the ACL Fest sign in the background, and the truck is cool, and those are my top 3 recs for where to get the best ACL
that.
Fest pic.
Clip that right there.
I'm gonna. Oh, this is a suggestion that I haven't seen on many other tips, but I don't know if you knew this, but the left side of each stage is the best for both a better view and less foot traffic.
Interesting.
And it also makes an easier escape route.
Yeah, that's a big thing in general. People don't realize this. But when the main stages are completely full, you think you can't get up there, but if you just go down the sides,
Yeah.
I get up very close.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you just shoot down the middle, you're just going to struggle trying to get through people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, every main person that I saw, I was able to get like a decent view of them on stage, not just like the big, videos. So yeah, I like that tip. So stay to the left side, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always the left. Like, think of any stage, and the left side is just less people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way the festival is set up, it's always just the right side where people like are walking and foot traffic, and so they'll hear like an artist, and they'll like just see what's up, and that's just builds and builds, and a crowd forms. And so this is just what I've like realized from years of doing this, is that the left side of each stage is just less crowded, more room to dance, less annoying people, and easier to get out of when you're ready to head to the next set.
Love that.
Period. What else?
I was trying to think, is there any stages we recommend? But they're all different. It depends who's playing. I mean, Tito's stage is a great stage. That's the EDM stage.
Yes.
That one's a tent. When there is a big artist playing, it's going to be very hard to get like a good view. And sometimes it gets too mobbed. But if you can get in there early, or you can get there for like a lower person, it's such a fun time. You feel like you're in this little like party.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, everybody's like dancing with each other. So it is a special place, but if there's somebody you really want to see, make sure you get there early for that one. That one you cannot get too late if it's a big person.
Yeah, that stage is so fun, but you definitely have to show up like 20 minutes at least before whoever you want to see goes on. Also, we do have a craft beer tent at ACL Fest, and maybe craft beer isn't everyone's cup of tea, but it is a place to go if you want to like cool off, because they have giant fans and misters that I go there when I'm like, I need a break.
Yeah.
I need a place to sit down that's not dirt. They also have a giant TV screen that's
just going to say that.
That's playing the game. And I know a lot of guys, ACL Fest is during football season, and so people care about the game, and so that's where you can go see the game.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because there will be like the NFL games on the Sunday, And you see it just fill up whenever there's a close game, and there's just more and more people that like get over there. And then on Saturday is the college games. So it is a good spot. It's a nice spot to just take a break in between some sets. I know last year one of my tips was Austin East Ciders is a cider company, and they released like a 9%er.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it was like super high, and it was the tall can.
Oh God.
So you get one of those that lasts you like a good hour and a half, and you could just crush that bag. So there's some good options over there. You may think it's just beer, but I would go and check it out, and there's like some other unique ones you can find.
Damn. I did not know that. And yeah, right next to the craft beer tent is obviously where the food is going to be. It changes every year, but last year the cheapest option was Quantos Tacos.
Oh.
Did a food stall there. So if they're here again, I recommend going to them. But if they're not, then whoever you see is the taco vendor of the year will typically be the cheapest.
Okay.
So if you're trying to save money,
That's a good tip.
I wish the food lineup is not out yet, but
Food's usually pretty good.
yeah, I love it because it's always a local Austin
Yes.
vendor. And so if you're in town or maybe there's a restaurant or food truck you've been dying to try and you see their name, like give it a try there.
Mm-hmm.
But also don't judge them completely if you don't like it because they're trying to like get out
Yeah.
food by the masses to feed people.
I agree.
And they're stressed. So yeah. But yeah, try something new. Why not?
Yeah, I always end up eating something there.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There was so much last year. I went for a corn dog. That was my go-to. But
I was gonna say it's hard to find seating too, so it's nice to grab something that's just like pickable.
yes, something easy to eat with your hands standing
Yeah.
up is I recommend. But also I recommend sneaking in a snack because people make fun of me for this, my friends do, but I'm the girl that's sneaking in jerky into the festival.
Perfect protein.
No, literally, because I guess I have a fast metabolism. I don't know, but I'm always hungry in between sets. And the like Chomps jerky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get like Target, Trader Joe's, anywhere. They are just so good. And I have to sneak them in because you can't bring in outside food to ACL Fest. So everyone's sneaking in drugs and alcohol to ACL Fest. And I'm like, I got to sneak in my snacks, y'all. Like, they cannot find this.
That's a great idea. I'm actually probably gonna do that this year.
Yes, and you'll save money by,
Exactly.
like, especially if you have back-to-back sets you want to catch and you don't have time to go to the food vendors, you're going to want.
And that
a
will
snack.
happen. And this year's lineup is crazy. So
I know, exactly.
even though Dominic Fike canceled,
Oh my God, you're right, he did.
but ACL reached out to us because they heard we announced the festival and asked if we would do a set of our podcast on the main stage.
On the main stage. And it's going to be at 11 a.m. to 11:15 a.m.
Full crowd.
Full crowd. I will say before you go into ACL Fest, hydrate all day. You'll be less likely to pass out. And take your porta potty trips before sunset because going into a porta potty when it's nighttime is hell on earth.
Yeah, it just gets worse and worse.
It's terrible. And if you're on drugs or alcohol and you're in a porta potty with no light, it's nightmare fuel.
Yeah. And
So-
I know with Kelsey, she's always looking for toilet paper.
Yes.
And it's hard. Some of them won't even have them.
That's something I meant to say for girls to put in your fanny pack or bag is tissue paper, like a little thing of tissues, because you will likely get into a porta potty that has no toilet paper.
Mhm.
Also for my girls, try to avoid wearing rompers that require you to
Yep.
completely get naked in a porta potty.
Because you don't want to put it down on the dirty
yeah,
ground.
Yeah, literally. And there's like nothing in there to help you. And you're just like naked in a porta potty and you feel disgusting. And I don't recommend it. I recommend wearing maybe a loose dress or skirt. That way you can easily just like squat over
Yeah.
the porta potty and do your business and then get out of there as fast as possible. And on that note, hand sanitizer, keep it in your bag. Damn, there's so many
So
things I need to
many
put in
things.
my fanny pack. Like
They gotta have a girlfriend to carry this for me.
Must be nice. I got to carry all the essentials. Those are the main recs from me.
I know. I was trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, we did pretty much pre-fest, places to stop, things to bring, locations.
I will say you should download the ACL Fest app.
Mm.
I think it's actually helpful.
Take a screenshot of the lineup. Take a
yes.
screenshot of the map.
Yes, it has the map, lineup, and more tips that are super useful. Whatever the lineup is of the day, take a screenshot of that and then make it your phone background. That way you're not like, what time is it? Who's next? You know, what stage are they at? Like, they are very efficient in their time schedule, and yeah.
And people will try to pickpocket you.
Yes.
There's always stories of that.
Dude, the pickpockets at ACL Fest, they have no shame.
Yeah, and that's why I think a fanny pack is even better too, because nobody's going to grab you from the front to take it.
100%. If you truly don't, you won't bring a bag no matter what. Your best bet is to at least put your phone in your front pocket, but it's not even completely safe there. I have seen people, like, while you're standing watching an artist that you love, your phone could be poking out even just by a little bit. That's all they need to simply, like, take it and just run off while you're focused on the artist you're watching.
I don't get it, because if you're like broke and a pickpocketer, how did you get tickets to get into the festival?
Well, that's what I think. It's a giant, like, crime ring thing.
Okay.
I saw a post that, like, they steal phones by the thousands and sell them to somewhere in China, and they make, like, a lot of money.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not just like one person making a quick buck. It's like an organized crime thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
this is what I read. That makes more sense.
Yeah, this is what I read.
I've never had my phone stolen, but we had a friend that got their phone stolen.
Oh, it's the worst feeling in the world.
The worst. And
it completely, like, ruins the vibe of the rest of your night, and everyone feels bad for you, and you're just like, damn. It sucks.
Yeah.
If you are going to have it at the front of your pocket, I also recommend maybe, like, bringing a bandana and, like, stuffing it on top of your phone. That way it's not, like, visible. You should bring a bandana regardless, actually, because it can be, like, quite dusty sometimes.
Yeah.
And having a mask or a bandana to cover during those dusty times really comes in handy.
Agreed.
Now that we're, like, riffing on this, I'm like, there's actually a bunch of stuff y'all should bring to ACL Fest. So, yeah,
there's a ton.
But you learn with experience, and on day 1, you'll definitely learn what you need to bring day 2 and 3.
Yep.
But yeah, just be as comfortable as possible. Go in it with, like, how would you tell people to, like, plan their day?
I will say a big thing for me is that you want to still have some flexibility to walk around and space in between. So, like, have your main people you want to see, but don't make a lineup schedule for yourself that's too strict. You know, you're like, oh, well, I want to see these 2 people, but let's just schedule these other 2 people as well. I would say if there's other people that you're not that serious about seeing, just, like, free flow it, because you might want to get food. You might want to check out, like, the stands at the festival. So I say, like, have somebody, then have a break. Have somebody, then have a break if you can. So that's been a big thing for me, because then it does get too stressful of you trying to run across to the other stage and go back and forth. So
100%. I also think if you're trying to see someone really bad and they're, like, a real popular artist, like how I know Chapel Roan is going to be.
Yeah.
You need to leave whatever place or set you're at beforehand at least 30 to 20 minutes prior.
Yep.
And go get a spot. And you just got to wait, because it will fill up. And if you try to go, like, right after the last set ends and make them both work, you're going to be at the far back and not be able to see. That's what happened to me in Paramore. I didn't get there early enough, and I was at the very back, and I was like, I'm just watching them on a screen.
Especially the main stages. That's a big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you can go see 2 people at once for sure, but like you're saying, you're going to only see the beginning half and then go to the other one and see the end half.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's early in the day, you're probably fine. But yeah, the later in the day it's like more just pick your people and go there.
Yeah. Like you said, definitely be flexible. Like, you could have a set plan, and then your friends want to go somewhere else, or someone wants to get food. like things just happen and you kind of just got to go with the flow. Of course, if you're totally fine being alone on your own somewhere, then go
That's a
for
great
it.
point. I mean, there's times where I'm like, I want to see these people, but I'm not dying to see them. So then
Yeah.
I'd rather just go with my friends because that's more of a fun time.
Yes, I'm the same.
And then last year, I wanted to see Foo Fighters for the second week in a row because I was so blown away the first time that I was like, my friends, I don't care. Y'all go do your thing.
Oh, nice.
Me and Kelsey just went to see Foo Fighters. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it definitely helps more if you have a partner or a buddy that like maybe y'all two are on the same page and the friend group wants to go elsewhere. Um, but I'm with you. I think it's more fun going where the group wants to go. And if I discover a new artist I didn't know before, like I'm just happy to be there. Like, and it's a good time regardless.
I know. What's crazy to me is I think about Noah Khan last year. I didn't even care to go see him, and my
Yeah.
friends went, and I actually skipped that one.
Oh no.
And it's so funny because now he's like my favorite artist.
Damn.
I listen to him like every day now.
I wonder how close you would have gotten though, because
I heard
that
it was
state-
bad.
it was so packed.
Yeah. But it's wild. I'm such a fan of him now that he's like in my top 5 favorite artists, like almost
Damn.
ever. I've been loving him so much. So it's kind of crazy. I just like 1 year of popularity that I like missed out on.
He'll be back.
For sure.
He'll be headlining next time he's
Yeah.
back. So don't give up hope.
Okay.
Okay, after the festival.
Ooh, so first thing that comes to mind, are we? Oh, there's so many things.
No, there's so many things.
As a drinker, well, first off,
Oh, you're going to party after the festival, aren't you?
I know. Well, I was gonna say there is after shows, so keep an eye out for after shows. Sometimes they're like really fun, and what I like about them is the only people that go to that is usually like legit fans.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these artists will do EDM shows that because the festival usually is done by 10, right? 10.
Yeah, we're an early
It's an
festival.
early festival. So this is good for the people that want sleep and relaxation.
That's me.
So, and then, I usually would do like one after show a weekend.
Mm.
So, you might have like, I'm trying to think who's the big EDM headliner this year. But,
Pretty
like,
Lights.
Pretty Lights. You never know. They might pop up at a venue and they'll play at midnight to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Especially like if it's a Sunday or something. So those are going to be a thing to keep an eye out for. They're always fun to always throw in one the weekend that you're there. Another thing that comes to mind is when you leave the festival, like I said, there's going to be hard to get a ride. Pedicabs are going to pop up on you like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's never worth the price unless you are just balling.
Have you ever taken one?
I've a couple times in my life.
Do you remember like what price they quoted you?
I mean, it depends on like where you go, but like it's like $50 to like the end of the Barton Springs street, and then it'll be like $80 to downtown and $100 to East Austin.
Yeah.
It's wild. Now, like I said, it's going to be hard to get a drive too. So if you're
True.
saying instead of me spending the next 30 to 45 minutes looking for a Lyft or Uber, walking 20 minutes, then you could just be like, I'm going to drop, $80 and get sent to downtown and go to a bar or then get a ride there.
Yeah. If you have the money, I do think it's fun and to at least do at least one of the nights.
Yeah.
Like me and friends one year, it was like $60 to get us from the festival to the Whataburger on South First in Barton Springs, and we split it.
That makes more sense if you're splitting it.
Yeah. If you're with friends, split it and it's more affordable and it's fun. They're playing music. You're like riding alongside other pedicabs and you just had the best like day at ACL Fest.
Yep.
Maybe on okay, you can either take it on a Friday to like save your energy of walking, or you can do it on a Sunday when you're already exhausted and don't want to walk anymore.
Mhm.
So that's my rec. Otherwise, if you're like absolutely not, then I would say to get a Lyft or an Uber away from the crowd, you could walk to, again, the Whataburger on South
Yep.
First and Barton Springs, or you can walk up South Lamar and go to the Alamo Draft House area, or go to Gibson Bar, like we mentioned, and get an after show drink there.
That would be a good recommendation is like, don't be in a rush to get a ride because if you do, it's going to be an hour wait. Whereas if you do go just to a bar, you're just still enjoying the night, you're giving
Yeah.
it time, and then you'll be able to find a Lyft ride.
True. I am personally the type of person that if I've seen everyone I want to see, I will leave the festival like 30 minutes early
Yeah.
to get a ride that's not insane prices at that point. You can also leave through the Ladybird entrance that we mentioned before. which will take you on a walk under the Mopac pedestrian
Mm.
bridge, and then you can get you could walk up to, like you said, Deep Eddy Cabaret, the Pool Burger,
Mhm.
Juice Land is up there.
Tumble 22 Chicken if they're still open.
Tumble are
I think so. I mean, they go to like 11 or something.
I
Maybe.
feel like for ACL Fest they've got to stay open.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that would be a great spot to
Great
get a
fried
ride.
chicken.
Yes, it is so good. So yeah, it's chaos if you do leave right at 10. That's why I say leave early. But yeah, you will get home. It's just you got to have some patience.
Hmm.
And the longer you do wait, the cheaper the ride will be.
Yeah. And that's why we ended up walking one day. An hour and 20 minutes home. I burnt
Yes,
calories though.
That's true. If you are starving at the end of the night, like we said, that P. Terry's is right there on South Lamar, Barton Springs Road. Whataburger is 24/7 on South First, but that one is chaos.
Yeah.
With lines,
Yep.
especially. Or you can walk downtown, and the food trucks there are all open. I recommend Diddy Dog for a hot dog,
Yes.
Casino El Camino for a burger, a like nice burger.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think that's great. I'm
there's
trying to think if there's anything else I can recommend for after the festival. I don't.
go to sleep. I'm like, just, and if you can take off Monday, you should.
Oh, 100%. You need to take off Monday. There's no question about that. Because the last thing you want to do is be out on Sunday at the festival. And instead of enjoying yourself, you're just thinking about work the next day.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
I know not everybody is able to swing that, but just like, I don't know, call in sick. I don't know.
And
But yeah.
I'm a big experience person. So same with before the festival. I love the city's energy.
For sure.
Everybody's excited that the festival is happening. There's more people walking the streets because there's people visiting Austin. So I love to do a pregame usually at a bar somewhere because it is just more lively. So that's my recommendation. Maybe get a coffee in the morning in Austin and you'll just see all these people out and about.
The energy on ACL Fest weekend is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. To me, it's also the kickoff of fall, which is my favorite
Yeah.
season. So I'm like, let's go.
100%.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Yeah, we will be at ACL Fest both weekends. If you see one of us, say hi. We are very nice people. And yeah, I think that wraps up all our tips and tricks.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Love that. We are at the Austin Pod on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify. We're on Instagram. You can also find Anthony at the ATX Drinker or me at 512 Bites. And yeah,
Amazing.
we'll see you at ACL Fest.
See you then.
Bye.